Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. If you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
Did anybody hear what the Vatican is preparing guidelines for? I mean, it is really sketchy, people. The Vatican is preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural phenomena. I literally can't make this shit up. Look at this. The Vatican is preparing to release a document giving guidance on how to discern supernatural phenomena. As you can see, the Holy See Press Office announced the upcoming document will be published May 17th, saying that this doctrine of faith is in the process of finalizing a new text, with clear guidelines and norms for the discernment of apparitions and other phenomena, saying that an apparition refers to an instance in which a divine entity, such as a saint, the Virgin Mary, or Christ himself, makes itself known to a person on earth. What the fuck? And the Catholic Church is supposedly urging extreme prudence before ascribing phenomena to a supernatural force, warning that being too quick to attribute divine origin to explainable occurrences can damage the faith and warp belief. What the fuck? Last month, the Vatican also released a document providing guidance on the place of human dignity in the modern age. And the document also denounced gender theory, gender transitions, and surrogate pregnancies as violating basic moral precepts. Once again, you cannot make this shit up. Does this not sound like Project Bluebeam to anybody else? And I know, oh my god, I sound like a crazy person, right? A conspiracy theorist, right? Kind of ironic how anybody's even considered a conspiracy theorist anymore. Especially when you consider the fact that it took our own government over 100 years to admit that in quotations aliens are real. Does anybody even know what extraterrestrials are? Or how many different species of them actually exist in the first place? People really need to get in touch with reality, man, because god, I don't know, man. Something about this just does not feel right. And I'm really curious as to what everybody thinks about this. I mean, is this not sketchy to anybody?
Yeah, it's super sketchy, and I can't wait to get my hands on it, see what it's talking about. You know, we got to get into it. You feel me? In my opinion, if you don't feel it inside your spirit, then I wouldn't rock with it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.
Are you kidding me? Am I losing my mind here? Because let me explain something to y'all, because this is the consensus, at least on TikTok. God isn't real. Jesus isn't real. None of this is real. Well, if it wasn't real, why would one of the most established churches and religious organizations start preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural phenomena? Can you explain that? If it's not real, why are they creating these guidelines for how to deal with the not real? I mean, look, apparitions are appearances or communication with divine beings such as saints, angels, or Christ himself. It's right there. If you want to read the article, you know what to do, right? Well, if you don't, click the link in my profile, go to the articles tab, and read it for yourself. And by the way, you don't have to buy anything, subscribe, register, or do anything. It's literally a couple of clicks. So don't come here saying, where's the fucking article? I just fucking told you.
No, you're not losing your mind. Sounds like a lot of people's faith is about to be tested. Sounds like a lot of people might mistake certain things for a certain project.
The other day, while scrolling through social media, I came across a few posts with claims that the Vatican has a press conference established for May 17th, which is this coming Friday, in regards to guidelines on how to discern between apparitions and supernatural beings such as Jesus, Mother Mary, other biblical holy characters. And I thought that's quite disturbing, shocking to say the least. I did like I advise most of you guys to do whenever presented with information like this. You go back to the source and do as much digging as you possibly can. So when I go to the Vatican website, I do see that they in fact have a press conference scheduled for Friday in regards to a guideline for discerning how to interact with apparitions and supernatural beings. Just like the post that these people have up claim. The only thing that they neglected to include is that these guidelines are nothing new, and updates to these guidelines have been done before. The last time being 1978. they mainly speak of religious interactions with saints and apparitions of that sort. Knowing that information, these posts certainly hit different, but again, these TikTokers didn't include the whole of the story. Now, having said that, I'm going to remind you guys that the Vatican actually is one of the most powerful entities on the planet, if not the most. They know a lot. You got to remember, they were behind and co-signed, sanctioned all of the historic major world event that we've known. When I say the Vatican, I'm not talking about Vatican City. I'm talking about the papacy, which was in the Roman Empire's hundreds, thousands of years ago. The Vatican City was newly established in 1929. So when I say the Vatican, I'm basically referring to the papacy. So yeah, they have been involved in many major world events, co-signed, sanctioned, and sometimes even financed it. To today, they have the world's most expansive library, a secret library which is nearly impossible for you and I to access. And also, keep in mind, they have the world's most sophisticated telescope for whatever reason, titled Lucifer for whatever reason. And they're looking out into the stars for something you and I will never know. So I'll end it like this. We don't want to go into the rabbit hole of what the Vatican really is, but information is power, and they are at the top because they hoard that information.
Why you would name a telescope Lucifer beats me. But this guy's on to something, definitely. I totally agree. None of us can access that library. This press conference, though, I thought it was just like a document on a website. I didn't know it was a whole press conference. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Why is the Vatican holding a press conference this Thursday? They haven't had one of these since 1978. If you wondering like what's going on, I'm finna break this shit down. Let's get into the article. Vatican is preparing guidelines for apparitions and other supernatural phenomena. The Vatican is preparing to release a document giving guidance on how to discern supernatural phenomena. The Holy See Press announced the upcoming document will be published May 17th with a live stream press conference. It say that they're in the process of finalizing a new text with clear guidelines and norms for the discernment of apparitions and other phenomena. Hold up, it's more. Let's break down what the Vatican meaning of apparition. An apparition refers to an instant in which a divine entity such as a saint, the Virgin Mary, or Christ himself makes itself known to a person on earth. So what is it that they don't want us to see that they think that it'll discern us from the supernatural and or a phenomena? You remember the motherfuckers opened up CERN the day of the eclipse, which is we figured out that there wasn't even really no real eclipse. Y'all remember all of that shit? They opened up CERN and then they put out the article say if you start seeing people who look different to you now, you got this certain disease and shit now. Nah, don't start making up no diseases. We know what the fuck really going on. Now y'all trying to discern some shit from a supernatural and a phenomenon. Now it's something out here that they don't want us to see. It's something out this motherfucker because if y'all remember the Mandela effect. Yeah, it's something out this motherfucker they don't want us to see, don't want us to witness, don't want us to know, because you know that this year is the year of the truth. The year of the karma, the year of the divine, you feel me? But hey, y'all tell me what y'all think about all the shenanigans in the comment section.
I feel you, young fella. Shout out to AJ King _ Bishop 2.0. Stating facts. You know, what is it they don't want us to see? He was talking about the demon syndrome. So yeah, man, he's aware of what's going on. A lot of us are. You know? It looks like we all are. Yeah, I'm tuned in. Straight up. I can't wait.
I don't think the Pope is the highest individual there at the Vatican.
What makes you think that?
A lot of individuals have studied this very extensively, and I'm somewhat one of them that believes that even presidents and the Pope are all just puppets. I think that things are changing in a way that they haven't really been before. We haven't had all this technology and all these things. And eventually, information's going to get out enough, that 1% we talked about, to shift that collective.
What does that do?
What happens is, imagine humanity is like a singular organism. It's in terms of consciousness. And we have what's called a collective consciousness. It means that we all live in a reality together, right? And we share ideas, but there's this driving direction of humanity based on the average amount of people that believe in something similar. The average person goes to work and gets up, pays their bills, and I think that whole thing, though, is shifting. I think we should stop comparing to what hasn't happened before. Like, the Vatican Archives hasn't released anything, and they're powerful, and how can they not be that in the future? We need to not measure the future based on only the past.
I truly agree. We should not measure the future based on the past. We ain't had the technology back then that we do now. Shoot, they can't even get back to the moon.
Imagine this thing appearing before you, demanding to be worshipped, revealing the mysteries of infinity, captivating your brain, telling you anything it wanted to. Well, cause look at it. Also, is that the key to the bottomless pit in his hand? The key to a functional alchemical CERN finally doing it? Opening the quantum prison for the Destroyer and his army to literally, Revelation 9, open the bottomless pit portal to invade Earth and attack humanity? Are fallen angelic entities luring humanity into doing all the dirty work for them? To make it happen with this super guide technology with false promises, technology exchanges, demonic mind control, and Pandora's box-like temptation. The allure might seem mesmerizing at first, but wait for it. You see Ant-Man here stuck floating in the infinite Mandelbrot, bottomless pit, no bottom dimension, fractal quantum zone. The mysterious dimension full of morphing fractals, colorful matrix-like grid, jester trickster archetypes like Joker Harlequin type entities, and Nephilim clown archetypes with machine elves. And also toon-like entities, and smiling blades of grass. Speaking of blades of grass, let's go all the way down the Space Jam golf course rabbit hole portal, literally, with Bugs Bunny, Michael Jordan, and see where it leads.
The Alice in Wonderland-like interdimensional rabbit hole, the wormhole notable for the colors, the beings that inhabit there, amongst other reoccurring themes, like enhanced limbs or vision. Think about all the things cartoons can do, like their behavior archetypes, how they never die. Cool beings that know stuff, but then they're revealed for who they truly are. The astral circus realm, the deal with the reptilian head honcho, and then even the not-so-good end of that deal, where you're basically a slave forever for having enhanced abilities on Earth. The true identity of these beings are fractalized imprisoned spirits, just waiting for a functional alchemical key to CERN to make it all work, to escape the bottomless pit, Revelation 9 style.
These disembodied spirits trapped in the quantum phantom zone have some sort of link to the ghost demon dark particles we discussed and neutrinos, which can become other things based on reactions, spiritual energy basically. Think of a tulpa parallel, which is something that exists in the mind that can be manifested into reality, existing on a level of spiritual potential, having a potential to grow kind of on a metaphorical level like neutrinos that harvest spiritual energy and can become things, thought forms, tulpas, maybe even physical things like parasites and other neph tech that we'll get into. The bottomless pit fractal zone where some spirits are imprisoned and trying to do everything they can desperately to escape, to convince humanity to free them or to grow on some sort of tulpic level, or manifest spiritually through tech we mentioned earlier like parasites. Things like demon possession, the hitchhiker effect, other apparitions, which, by the way, we're being prepared for by the Vatican. Tie that in with demon face syndrome when you see what's up. Think about how neutrinos, parasites, and the microbiome all work on a microscopic level. Things you can't always see ties into the invisible realm of demons and the spirit as well. That's why there's always a link between parasite behavior and demonic behavior. And why Jesus warned of a certain species, that's right, a species of demon that could only come out by fasting and prayer. These strategies on a quantum level are like a frog boiling in a pot, updating very slowly on a quantum level over time until they grow at an unnoticeable level until they're too powerful to deal with. Also, the frog in the pot is another alchemy cauldron reference, changing things at a molecular level from one state to a next. Or if you're in the quantum realm, it can be in two states at once, the qubit. Think about possession now.
Third eye merged possession relationships with beings with red flag backstories, always seeking freeing, many species seeking a body, patterns of jinn or genies needing freeing, or aliens coming from dying worlds, all backstories that with red flags. Speaking of species, let's read Revelation 9 about the archonic locust demon soldier. That description sounds similar to the mantis beings in the DMT trip sleep paralysis phenomenon. People end up freaking around and playing quantum mind chess with a morphing fractal spirit. Could it be the same beings? Let's read Revelation 9. We see here a supernatural army with wings and tails headed up by Apollyon from the bottomless pit. We see a star/angel falling from heaven with a key to the bottomless pit. which he successfully opens, followed by smoke filling the whole earth, darkening the sun, and then the supernatural locust scorpion army led by Apollyon to torment men on the earth. Also interesting, this AI generator seemed to portray this army with the Nephilim clown archetype faces. Check it out. Quick rabbit hole about possession. That word actually means demonized, and there's several levels of it, from straight up possession to oppression to being demonized on some sort of level to being influenced on some sort of mind-spirit level. But basically at its core, it's disembodied spirits trying to find a body, a host, just like a parasite, to fulfill its urges in. Not all spirits, but at least one group is imprisoned in this form in this realm. We know about others that are actually imprisoned underneath water, like the Euphrates River under the earth. Or like Azazel, Video Plug, who's also buried somewhere in the desert. But these beings always market themselves as whatever. Ascended masters, higher beings, your higher self, Jungian archetypes, just parts of your own personality, or friendly spirits or nature spirits, or spirit animal or spirit guides, or alien entities. Anything to hide the true backstory that they're covering up, which is why they always need us for something. Once they've used us for what they need us for, what do you think they're going to do with us? These and other dark entities are in contact with the rich and powerful. Things behind like CERN and NASA, all for entertainment, by the way. All to continue the Genesis anti-human, anti-savior of humanity conspiracy. By the way, there's all sorts of other dimensions and realms and spiritual places full of angelic entities, peaceful places like heaven. Things Ezekiel and the prophets of old have seen. Enclosed is the giant alchemy weapon, the modern-day Tower of Babel CERN, and related dark technology being used to open quantum realm phantom zone Nephilim prison portals, and free the Revelation 9 army led by Apollyon. Speaking of CERN and Nephilim clowns, it just so happens that the weird clown sightings, if you remember a couple years back and recently, have all been kind of tied in with CERN firing up. Could it all tie in on some sort of spiritual ritual level? Either way, the fascinating mystery of spirits imprisoned in another realm ages ago, communicating from the other side, leading modern science and technology and humanity to free them and loose them into this world, all leading to adventures for another time. See you next time.
Yo, that was deep. Shout out to Savage Truth. Y'all followed him, yo. That was a lot.
This video over the internet that it shows that the sky is cracking around the sun. I wake up and I see everyone is sending me this video, y'all. Check this out. This is from Antonio De Leo. That's his IG. Incognito Gaming is his TikTok. This guy is a special video effects editor. Okay, so a lot of people are asking me, why does this look fake? It's because this guy is constantly editing videos and putting it up. I came across his videos, and when I looked deeper into his videos, it looked like he has been using special effects, as you can see over here. He is the only one that's ever coming across these type of crazy sky videos, and I wonder why. I'm like, what is going on? And then when I did some more research, everybody is saying he is he's a special effects video editor, y'all. So I just wanted to come across this and let y'all know what's going on. If you see a lot of these videos from this individual, his videos are edited and he's just putting out there for views, you know. I mean, I guess, hey, this is social media, right? You got to get the views. That's how you get the bag. So yeah, I just want to come on here and share with you guys what is going on with these videos. Please use your discernment when it comes to these videos. A lot of them do look fake, and this is why I come on here and share this information with you guys, so you guys let us know what's going on. What do you guys think about this video? But there are people out there manipulating us and using us as views just to make that money. So when you see videos out there with that encryption, just know that it may be edited. So this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. The age of Aquarius is trying to show us truth, but other people out here trying to deceive us, because they already know the world and people in the world are going crazy. So why not put people more on edge? You know what I'm saying? So please like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace in.
Shout out to Conscious Juice. Yeah, I got sent that same video. But Juice is right. That same creator was the one making those videos about the giant shadows walking in the rain and stuff like that. You could tell after, they got that same, like you said, the encryption on the side. Yeah, man. It's very entertaining though. But they just out to get the bag. So yeah, guys, be careful.
Large hits bridge in Galveston, Texas, causing an oil spill. It seems we have a pattern forming here. 2023 was train derailment and 2024 might just be bridge collisions. The Pelican Island Causeway Bridge was struck by a barge, causing a train rail section of the bridge to collapse onto the barge. Now, the collision happened around 10 a.m. The lift bridge, which spans the west end of the Galveston Ship Channel, connected Galveston Island with Pelican Island, the home of Texas A&M University at Galveston. The city's emergency management office, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the Texas Department of Transportation are all investigating the crash. They have also put out an alert to all students and community members saying the bridge is closed to all traffic. The bridge is the only way to drive off the dredged spoil island. Now, no injuries have been reported and the situation is still developing. Now, I'm sure this is going to end up being a tricky situation, being that the fact that all those students don't have a way to get off of the island. As soon as I have an update, I'll be letting you know. I'm AP, and until the next one, I'm out of here.
Well, look at this. Another barge has hit a bridge. Now, this is happening in Galveston, Texas, where we have the barge destroying or collapsing a railway system there, or I guess it's called a rail line. Now, I understand, I know many people are going to tell you this is by design because, you know, there's just way too many coincidences going on with barges hitting bridges and things collapsing. Oh, and did I mention that there is a chemical leaking from the barge? How lovely. Now, I love a conspiracy theory, and I will admit there's a lot of coincidences going on with, you know, things running into bridges and whatnot. But we need to have a sound mind here, guys, and understand humans are flawed and they make mistakes and accidents. And things like this happen all the time. But what happens with us conspiracy theory believers is we start to find a conspiracy everywhere. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but have you been interested in buying a new vehicle and then you start to see that vehicle everywhere? Well, it's because your mind has been thinking about it. Likewise, because we start to see weird things pop up like this, we start to see it everywhere. Now, again, I may be wrong. Maybe there is a giant conspiracy right now to destroy the railway systems and bridges and whatnot and to contaminate the water system. I mean, again, there's a lot of coincidences, but we cannot jump to conclusions at the very second that we see something like this happen, because there are individuals who are involved here that are knuckleheads. Trust me, if you are a blue-collar worker or work in construction, you understand. So yeah, we will have to wait and see the details behind everything here. And again, I would not be surprised if this is, you know, planned or whatnot, but we need to have a sound mind, focusing our eyes upon the Lord, not allowing these conspiracies to overtake us. And trust me, I know, I understand it is tempting for sure. But with that, I love you all so much. God bless. And remember, the just shall live by faith.
Yeah, I agree where he's coming from. Can't just jump to conclusions. It's just... what a coincidence.
What if I told you that you might actually be a fallen angel? Have you ever felt like you're a stranger or a visitor, like there's a secret part of you that yearns for a place that it can't remember? Sound crazy? Well, we're about to uncover the forbidden knowledge of the Cathars, and it reveals our secret origins. It's information that's so earth-shattering that it was almost erased from history. In the 12th century, a radical movement shook Southern Europe to its core, and it challenged the Catholic Church's very foundations. The Cathars, also known as the Pure Ones, introduced beliefs so revolutionary that they drew the wrath of the Church. But what was it about their knowledge that angered the Church so much, and could it actually reveal the hidden truth about what you really are? Today we're exploring fallen angels' hidden knowledge in a church desperate to keep its power at all costs. We're about to reveal the banned knowledge of the Cathars. So who were the Cathars, and why has history tried so hard to silence their voices? Well, the Cathars were a medieval Christian group who believed in a universe dominated not by one, but two gods, a god of light and a god of darkness. The god of light was the creator of the spiritual realm, and the evil god was the master of the physical world, and was actually the God of the Old Testament, the biblical God. Are you starting to see why the church wasn't too happy with their beliefs? So for the Cathars, the universe was torn between two mighty gods. On the good side, the loving God, who's the creator of everything spiritual and pure, and the dark side of the God of the Bible, Satan himself. They called him Rex Mundi, which means King of the World. So according to the Cathars, Rex Mundi, the Old Testament god, Satan, tricked us. How? by getting us to join him in the war in heaven. That's right, according to the Cathars, you are a fallen angel that's become trapped in the material world and tricked into forgetting what you really are. The Cathars had a book, and it was called Interrogatio Johannes, or The Secret Supper. Now, as the title suggests, this book describes a secret supper in the kingdom of heaven, where Jesus reveals to John how Satan formed the earth and created humanity by trapping angelic souls in bodies. According to the Secret Supper, Jesus said, Satan commanded the earth to bring forth all living things, animals, trees, and herbs. The sea he commanded to bring forth fish, and the air, birds of the heavens. And he pondered on making man to serve him. He took clay of the earth and made man like unto himself. And he then bade an angel of the second heaven to enter the body of clay. Of this body he took apart and made another body in the form of a woman, and bade an angel of the first heaven to enter into it. And the angels grieved deeply that they thus had a mortal form imposed upon them, and that they now existed in different forms. And Satan bade them to perform the works of the flesh in their bodies of clay. See, the Cathars saw the physical world around us as a prison created by an evil god, a place where angelic souls were trapped and tormented. The Cathars weren't just rebels. See, the Cathars were actually visionaries who saw beyond the illusory veil of material existence and into the spiritual domain. Do you ever look at the world and kind of feel disconnected, like a sense that there's more beyond what we see? Well, that's exactly what the Cathars felt, and they believed that we are more than just human. Is it possible that the Cathars were right, and that we are fallen angels trying to find our way back home? See, the Cathars wanted to reveal what they believed was the ultimate conspiracy, that the God of the Old Testament is actually evil, and our real mission is to escape this physical prison. But if that's all true, how do we escape? We'll answer that in just a minute, but first you might be wondering, if they believed that the God of the Bible was Satan, well, what did they think of the Bible and Jesus? First off, the Cathars looked at much of the Bible and said, no, that's the work of Satan. Yeah, you heard that right. The Cathars actually believed that the Old Testament wasn't inspired by divine wisdom, but by the devil himself. And when it came to Christian symbols and rituals like the cross and baptism and the Eucharist, pure evil in their eyes. So let's talk about the cross for a minute. While most of Christianity saw it as the ultimate holy symbol of sacrifice and forgiveness, the Cathars saw it as nothing more than an evil symbol of worldly power and oppression. Think about it. The cross was a torture device after all, and the Cathars hated it so much they'd destroy it whenever they found one. They were also against baptism. Why? Well, they believed that the material world was evil, and water is material, and so could never be holy, and that it was just a way for a greedy church to make money. The Inquisitor Bernard Gouy wrote this about the Cathars. Of baptism, they assert that the churchmen sell this water out of avarice, just as they sell earth for the burial of the dead and oil to the sick when they anoint them, and as they sell the confession of sins as made to the priests. And then there's the Eucharist. You know, that's the ritual where people eat bread and drink wine to eat the flesh and drink the blood of Jesus Christ. Now, you might think that that's just symbolic, but the Catholic belief to this day is that it literally is actually the flesh and blood of Jesus. Seriously. Archbishop Michael J. Sheehan said, "The bread and wine are changed into the body and blood of Christ, as the church has always taught. Although they still look like bread and wine, they have, by divine power, actually changed into his body and blood. How can we know this? It requires faith. It is a mystery which, like love, we will never fully understand." Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a little skeptical. But whether you believe that the Eucharist is symbolic or literal, to the Cathars, this was not a holy ritual, but a downright satanic ritual. I mean, think about it. The idea of eating flesh and drinking blood, to them, it screamed satanic ceremony. What if you invited your religious friend to come with you to a ceremony where you eat the flesh and drink the blood of the leader? Even if it's symbolic, they'd think you were a devil worshiper. Yet they'll invite you to take part in the exact same ritual and not even think twice about it. Not only were the Cathars against eating the flesh and blood of Jesus, they were against eating most animals in general. They were pescatarian and didn't eat animal products like cheese, eggs, or milk. Why? Well, because they believed in reincarnation. And so they saw animals as housing reincarnated souls, making the killing of any animals, except for fish, off limits. Now, speaking of reincarnation, the Cathars totally rejected the idea of Jesus Christ's resurrection as Christians know it. See, for the Cathars, the resurrection wasn't literal, but symbolic of reincarnation, a cycle of rebirth, and they believed that we're all trapped in this cycle until we escape the material world. When it comes to reincarnation and the soul, they taught that the soul was sexless and genderless and immaterial. A man could be reincarnated as a woman and vice versa. And this led to a level of gender equality that was very revolutionary for its time. They offered leadership roles for women that was unheard of in the male-dominated Catholic Church. In a time when women were largely sidelined by mainstream religion, Catharism was breaking barriers and allowing women to become spiritual leaders known as perfects. But how does one actually achieve liberation? How do you escape from the material world? Well, their answer was to completely give up the material world. Imagine giving up everything, not just your iPhone, but your entire physical existence to return to your angelic origins. This was a direct challenge to the church's power, because basically the Cathars were saying, hey, you don't need the church to find God. Actually, you're already divine. You just need to remember what you really are. They were suggesting that the church, with all its rituals and rules, were servants of Rex Mundi, the devil, keeping us distracted from discovering our true angelic nature. So what was the church's reaction? They launched a full-on war, not just against the Cathars, but against the very idea that we could be divine beings stuck in a material prison. This was about controlling the narrative, making sure that we stayed in a state of fear so we could be controlled. The church launched a series of missions to convert or crush them. Pope Innocent III called for a crusade against the Cathars, marking the beginning of the Albigensian Crusade. The first mission against the Cathars occurred on the 22nd of July in 1209, and it's known as the Massacre at Béziers. But get this, according to some records, Béziers was home to nearly 20,000 Catholics and only around 200 Cathars. So the problem was, how could you tell who was a Catholic and who was a Cathar? Well, the military commander, Arnaud Amalric, had a grim solution. He allegedly said, kill them all. God will recognize his own. Throughout the years, the Cathars fiercely resisted, but they faced overwhelming odds. And the crusade extended over 2 decades and absolutely decimated the Cathar movement. Now get this, have you ever heard of the medieval Inquisition? Well, one of the main reasons that the Inquisition was formed was to eradicate any remaining Cathars. The last known Cathar perfect was executed in 1321, symbolizing the complete suppression of Catharism. But here's the thing, even after the Crusade and the Inquisition and centuries of time, the Cathar secret isn't lost because it's deep inside all of us. Those of us who feel that there's more to life than meets the eye catch glimpses of the secret. But hold on, is it actually true? Are we really fallen angels? And do we have to reject the material world to return to our true home? Well, the Cathars were onto something, but they didn't have the whole picture. We're not literally angels like how they're described in the Bible. What you are is a lot more incredible. You are an eternal soul, a spark of the infinite, a being of mathematical frequencies, and you originate from a place beyond the physical realm, a realm of pure thought, where everything exists as frequency patterns. This immaterial domain of mind is our true home. But how do we return? Well, it's not about rejecting the world like the Cathars believed, but about engaging with it fully, with eyes wide open to the lessons that it offers. You don't have to give up your smartphone or your favorite foods to find enlightenment. Instead, it's about understanding that while these things are part of our lives, they don't define us. We are so much more. Think about it. Every single thing that we do, every joy, every challenge, it's an opportunity to grow, to learn, and expand. we're here to experience everything, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Imagine it like playing the ultimate virtual reality game in this thing that we call life, and we're trying to level up our characters. This world, with all its chaos and beauty, isn't a prison, it's more like a school. A workshop where we learn, grow, and evolve. We are eternal beings of light and energy that are temporarily experiencing the material realm. And yes, the Cathars were right about one thing, that there's a spark of the divine within each of us, a reminder of our origin from somewhere beyond this physical realm. So what's the takeaway here? It's not about running from the world, but embracing it, learning its secrets, uncovering its truths, and using that knowledge to create a reality that reflects the best of who we are. We're here to love, to learn, to laugh, and yeah, even to cry. We're here to evolve, to make this journey from the material to the spiritual, not by escape, but by understanding and transformation. And as Neogenians, that's exactly what we're here to do. But the story doesn't end there, so make sure you like this video and subscribe, because we're going to be reading and exploring the secret books of the Cathars. Now, if you want to help my channel grow and help me reach more people, support my work on patreon.com/morgofficial, or join YouTube at tier 2 or higher to get access to all our members-only videos. And I want to give a big shout out to everyone who supports. My name is Morg, and I am Neogenian.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we're gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.